Hello, lovely people. It's lovely to see you today. And today we're just going to do a straightforward practice, really. It's kind of continuing the theme of home practice because there may be a few sessions when I won't be able to be around. And so, I mean, for myself, it is, I suppose what I would love to see everyone doing is actually like unrolling their yoga mats in between a class and just really feeling comfortable, confident in just kind of, well, how to say, guiding their own practice, as it were, and feeling confident and empowered really to be able to do that and to not have this sense of, am I doing it right? Am I doing it wrong? Just to feel that, you know, they're flowing with your body and you're opening up into your body and just enjoying that whole process of exploration in your way. So we're going to carry on a little bit with that theme this morning, and we'll see where we go from there. So if you start in sitting, and just take any comfortable seat that you'd like to, and bringing your hands to the knees, and we'll use one of the mudras today, so I'm just using my index finger to my thumb, and if you're feeling a little bit tired, bring your palms facing up. If you're feeling quite energized and you want to ground yourself, palms can face down. So either or. And then eyes shutting as and when you feel ready. And as your eyes shut, if you now feel the softness of your eyes behind the lids, feel a sense of allowing them, the eyes to sink back and relax in the eye sockets. Almost like you're switching off that kind of sensory pull to look at things, interpret things around you, in your surroundings. And then, feeling your body and scanning through the body, just clock in with yourself. Noticing space, lightness, ease within the body. And also noticing any areas where you may notice a tightening of muscles, any discomfort. And into those areas, allowing them to soften, so almost you're bringing your body in sitting to a state of mind as you would just before you fall asleep. It doesn't matter if you don't actually feel this in the body, but just setting your mental intention, the feeling tone, that state, space, ease, wellness. And then you're going to water this space with your breath. A light, soft breath infusing your body. And if at any point you notice any part of the body tightening, may just be a little involuntary tightening of the muscles, pulling up shoulders. See if you can bring them back to this state of ease, of softness again. So if you're looking to relax your body into sleep. And from this space of softness and ease, now allowing your spine to grow. Almost like it's drawing upwards from the earth. And feeling the softness of eyes behind the closed lids. Then your eyes can open again. And with your eyes open, just bringing hands to prayer. And we'll take 5 breaths, flushing breath through the body. Keep holding the body with this sense of softness, this sense of ease. And any time you notice there is a tightening of muscles, those habits of wanting to react against something, just seeing if you can then just allow those to relax, soften a little bit. One more breath. And then hands coming down. And we're going to come onto all fours. And from all fours, you're going to breathe out and you're easing your spine back towards your heels. So long, deep out breath, back towards the heels. Your forehead can come down to the floor. And if you give yourself 5 rounds of breath or so here, and then you're going to scoop the front of the body close to the floor, almost like it's shadowing the floor. And that will take you up onto all fours. And then you can tuck your sit bones under, and so your spine is curving up towards ceiling. And you're slowly drawing your pelvis back towards your heels again. So stretching out along the entire length of the spine, vertebrae to vertebrae. Another 5 rounds of breath down on the heels. And again, front body shadowing close to the floor. Start to lift up onto all fours. Look forward as you come up. And then again, tucking under. Easing back to heels. Reaching the pelvis back away from your hands. Forward coming down last. And again, up onto all fours. Now tucking under your toes now. With toes tucked under, just pausing there and easing back to your heels. And as you draw back to your heels, lengthen out through the spine and root down into your hands. So you're lifting up through the arms, up into the top of the spine. Keep your belly lifting, belly to spine as you breathe. You're just looking to build a little bit of heat in your core. And feeling that sense of drawing your belly to your spine. From here with your knees bent, we'll lift up and into down dog. We'll lift up off your heels now, so you'll balance right on the balls of the toes, knees still bent. And then breathing out, start to straighten out your legs, root down into your heels. Another round of breath, and you're starting to walk your feet forward. Take your time doing so, up towards your hands. And there, offering your spine, breathing in. And breathing out, drawing the chest downwards, down the length of the legs, into a forward fold. When you've had one more breath here, we're going to start to come up to rise, and we're rolling the spine up into standing. So from the base of the spine, stack the lower vertebrae, one on top of the other. And you're following that stacking motion all the way up into standing, into Tadasana. And there, arriving into Tadasana, feet either together or hips width apart. Hands on the tops of the shoulders, fingers facing away from you, backwards. Elbow points together. And an in-breath, the elbow points lifting up. The out-breath coming around the back. So an in-breath, up the center line. And the out-breath, around and behind. Now, as you do this, see if you can still keep this sense of drawing up through the crown of the head. Just keeping everything as relaxed as you can. One more round. And we're coming back the opposite way. The in-breath around the back, the spine, and your out-breath down the center line. Then with your next round of breath, a big circle with the arms. And we'll stretch them up in a V shape above the head. And there, just tip your chest now up towards the ceiling. But as you lift up into the chest, make sure you're lifting up through the lower vertebrae of the spine. And the out breath, your arms, fingers stretched away from you, are circling round and coming back to the base of the body. Another in breath, the palms will rise up into the V shape. Remember, lift up through the base of the spine. So really opening, creating space between each and every vertebrae. Chest sitting up. And then with your out breath, fingers away from you, and a big circle around. So with your in breath now, feet are now hips width apart if you haven't got them there. Your in breath, right arm lifting up and over. Left arm stretching down the left leg. Swinging it back round. And with your in breath, the left arm lifting up. And it's coming over. Right hand stretching down the right leg. Taking the left hand back down. Now both arms swinging up above the head. And there, you'll just interlace the fingers with one another. And then you're taking the hands over to one side, leaning out into the opposite edge. Come back to the center line, over to the other side. Now bring your hands up again, interlace your fingers the opposite way to which you were just doing. And we'll do one more round each side. And then arms stretching out either sides around you. So you've kind of warmed up the body now. So we're going to move into a little bit of flow. So coming up to the top of your mat, feet together, and just pausing there, a few breaths again, to see how much you can settle the body into standing. So your hands can be at the heart or either sides of the body. And just start to feel that sense of weight relaxing downwards into your feet. And as you let go of the body's weight downwards to the earth, just note how much can you relax your shoulders. And just let the skeleton always have this natural sense of lift upwards to support the body. We take 3 rounds of breath. And then, coming into a sun salutation, your arms are going to float up with the in-breath. Big circle up and around behind you. Breathe in as you arrive, your gaze can come up. And as you breathe out, you're folding down centre line, a bit of bend through the knees, and arriving in whatever version you like of a forward fold. And here you're going to give yourself about 3 rounds of breath and put a little bit of movement into it, just to encourage your spine to relax. And then your version, offering the spine, hands to the shins, the knees, the floor, and looking forward. And we take a round of breath here. And then you'll find your way back and into down dog. Now bend your knees deeply in down dog to give yourself a bit of lift up into your pelvis. And then once you've bent your knees and found a bit of lift, then you can start to straighten the backs of the legs, root down into your heels. Getting ready to drop down onto all fours, breathing in as you do so. And then your out breath, you're arriving back towards your heels. We pause here, as we were doing earlier, just to stretch out the spine. Give yourself a couple of rounds of breath here. And then when you're ready to move through, on an in-breath, shadowing the floor with the front of the body, slide down onto the belly. And your elbows drawing back, we're lifting up and into cobra. Deep in breath. Arriving back into down dog. Adjust your feet if you need to. And again, bending your knees and lift your heels as high as you can. Draw your belly towards your thighs. And then start to root down into your heels, straightening out the backs of the legs. Another round of breath, looking forward, breathing out, your feet will come forward, up towards the hands, and with your in-breath, offering spine. And breathing out, folding down the length of the legs. You're coming to rise, so as you are doing standing, root into your feet, lift up, open up into the chest, and your out breath arriving back to the heart. And arriving in the heart, give yourself this little moment of pausing to recenter, and also just to feel this sense of how much can you relax your body, relax your shoulders, legs, feet, neck, facial muscles, in standing. So everything is as relaxed as it would be just before you come to that point of sleep. And from that space, when you're ready to move, your arms will float up a big circle around and behind you, palms connecting, breathing in, and with your out breath, a slow fold down into forward fold, whatever version you want to gain. And we're taking enough 3 rounds of breath here, just a little bit of movement, whatever's going to be useful for you. Kind of ease into your spine. And from there, open your spine. So gazing forward, creating an L shape. And then your hands will come down and you'll root back and step back into down dog. Now as before, just bend your knees with the first breath or so, lift your heels high, draw your belly towards your thighs. And then you can start to straighten the backs of the legs and open out the shape a little bit more. Another breath. And that will take you down on an in-breath onto all fours. Take your time to arrive. Draw back towards your heels and pausing there again to open out the spine. And you're going to start to think about coming through into Cobra. So belly close to the mat, you'll come onto it. And you'll take a couple of breaths or so, lifting into Cobra. Now, how relaxed can you make the body here? So letting the structure of the body, the skeleton support you. Another breath. And your out breath, easing up and back into down dog. Arriving in down dog, we're opening out into the hips now. So you're bending your right foot, lifting it off the floor a little bit. Bending it out behind you, the knees still bent. When you've lifted that right knee as high as you can there, as high as you're comfortable, then stretch out and straighten out that right leg. And then slowly you're turning to the side. So opening out into that right hip. Another breath. Big angles here. And your right foot's coming down to rest. So back into down dog. Lifting up your left foot, just a fraction, bending the knee. Bend that left knee out behind you. And when it's lifted with the knee bent as high as feels comfortable, then open out your left foot. Stretch into your left heel. And start to turn the body over to the left-hand side. And then the left foot can come back down again to the floor. An in-breath, look forward, lift your heels up, and your out-breath, your feet coming up to the top of the mat. In-breath, off your spine, and out-breath, folding. Coming to rise, lift up, a big circle through the arms. And with your out-breath, you're arriving back and into the heart. So feet hips width apart now, hands on the hips. And we'll just circle the pelvis now, one big circle in one direction, or a few. Then take that circle around the opposite way. And then, feet hips width apart. And breathing in, we'll lift up the right knee and we're taking the right knee out into a circle to the right hand side. It can come round, you can either just touch the floor or bring the foot down. See what kind of balance there it is. We'll do a few more circles more. One more. And the right foot coming down to the floor. Onto the right leg and the left foot lifting up. And a few circles around to the left hand side. Now as you're doing that, excuse the wobble, as you're doing this, just see how relaxed you can actually keep the mind and body. So you may notice, as you get those little wobbles, there's all that kind of chain of reaction. And so just watching a chain of reaction and seeing if you can still keep relaxed without tensing up and into it. Left foot coming down, right leg lifting, and then you're going to plant the right foot somewhere along the length of the left leg. And catch hold of ankle and bring the foot up to the top of the thigh, else have it lower down the leg, wherever you want. But seeing if you can keep that sense of relaxation in the body. Hands can start on the hips. You may feel to lift them up. Can you be as relaxed as you would be just before sleep here, even though the body's impermanent? And you're ready to, coming down again, right foot stepping down. And we're doing the same on the opposite leg. So you're lifting up into the left foot, planting it somewhere along the length of the leg. And we'll take a few breaths on this side. You may just want to have the hands on the hips at the heart, or else lift them up. Keep allowing yourself to soften, relax. And you're slowly coming back down again. Well done. Both feet on the floor now, hips width apart, and another big circle out through the arms. Really open up and lift into the body. And you're riding down into the forward fold. And we catch hold of our elbow points in this forward fold. So you're drawing your elbows down. Make sure your forearms cover your ears here. So you're pulling the entire length of the spine downwards. Another round of breath. And then your hands coming to the mat. And you're stepping your right foot back, a big step back. So it's just behind the left foot as a line from the heel of the front foot down towards the arch of your back foot. And your left foot, the knee is going to be bent at a right angle. Left hand's on the little toe side of that front foot. Just shuffle your feet along, create space between them if you need to. Hand can be on a block here as well if you prefer. And with the knee bent, right arm lifting up. We're going to take 3 more rounds of breath here. And even though you're lifting up and into the body, just still keep that sense of relaxation as much as you can. Allow your mind to soften. Next round of breath. And the right arm will stretch up and over, out towards the horizon. The next round of breath, right hand coming down. Now flip your back foot, your front knee still bent, and you're dropping down onto your back knee now. So you're coming into a low lunge here. You can tuck the toes under or keep them flat. Hands can be on the mat here, just looking forward. Else you may want to lift up, hands on the hips. Else a big circle around with the arms. Arms lifting up above the head. Keep softening everything as the arms come back round. And your hands either sides of the foot now. Tuck under the toes of your back foot. And slowly, slowly, you're sitting back towards that back heel. And you're looking to stretch out into this front leg. Now your foot will be on the floor. You can lift up the toes. And that will help that lifting up through the back of the seam of that front leg. A few breaths here. And then you'll bend your front knee again. You can walk your hands so they're framing that front foot. And you're going to lift up and into a forward fold. So lift up the back leg and then stepping that back foot through to join the front foot. And you're folding down the length of the legs. Now coming onto the other side now. This time you're stepping back the left foot, a long big step back. Really take your time here to stretch it out behind you. Line up the heel of the front foot, the arch of the back foot, and your front knee is bending. So you've got this right angle shape in the front leg. You shuffle your feet around so you've got some space between them. And when you've anchored your feet, the left hand's lifting up. Now keep softening the mind, even as there may be quite a lot going on in terms of opening the body, stretching out into the body. Now breath. And then we'll just take a couple of breaths, stretching out this left arm up and over the head. Taking one more breath. And then into the low lunge. Both hands down, rotate your back foot, drop down onto your back knee, and you may have quite enough going on here, just looking forward, hands on the floor. You may want to bring up the hands to the hips, or else a big circle with the arms, up and around. Keep softening into the sensation, almost like you're drawing your body towards sleep. Your arms coming round, back to the floor. And from here, we're coming into the leg stretch, the front leg stretch. You're bending back towards your back heel. You're coming up onto the fingertips, and your toes are going to lift up. So you're lifting up and into the seam of this front leg. Bring your hands forward again, either sides of that back, either sides of the front foot. We're coming back into down dog. So lift up the back leg and stretch your right leg down to meet the back. Now again, as you were doing, up off your heels in down dog. Draw your belly towards your thighs and then start to root down into your heels. Really open up into the shape of the body. Another breath. And you're coming down onto all fours. Now just pausing on all fours here, hands underneath the shoulders, and draw your belly up towards the spine. We're going to take a few very deep breaths here. Really feel your weight transferring down into all those parts of the body in contact with the floor. So your hands, your knees, your feet. And then we're moving into a few rounds of cat and cow. So you're tucking under pelvis, the spine curving. And then your pelvis will tilt up, your spine will lengthen out between shoulders. Curving under your sit bones, drawing back towards your heels, and then pelvis lifting and spine lengthening. Into another out breath with curve of the spine, and into the in breath, spine lengthening. Give yourself another 3 rounds of breath. And just noticing if there's anywhere you can just bring a bit of sense of space. You often notice the mind, it gets drawn to certain sensations, and it may be there's not that much disquiet there. It's almost like it decides, the mind does, it doesn't like that part of the body at any one time, or whatever sensation you're feeling there. So maybe you feel that slight sense of contraction. That's when you can just kind of notice it, but then just soften it. It's not like you're trying to change any of it. You're just softening the space in which you're becoming aware of the body. And arriving back to your heels, and we're stretching out through the spine. And you're arriving up and into sitting. And as you arrive in sitting now, we bring your legs out in front of you, and your legs are stretched out apart from one another. You're in a V shape, your toes flexing up towards the ceiling. If that feels really intense on the backs of the legs, do bend them a little bit as well. Interlacing your fingers, breathing in, and you're going to stretch towards your left foot. And breathing out, you're taking a big circle around the front of the body. So as you breathe in, you're coming around the back. And then an out breath across the front of the body. Into another out breath. And we go for a few more rounds. Now, how much can you relax the back of your legs onto the floor as you're doing this? One more round. And right hand sliding down the right leg. So you're looking towards the inner edge of the right foot, on the inner edge of the right leg. And then left arm lifting up. Now really open out the front of the chest, the front of the body. And then you can let that left arm come over and down the length of the right leg. Give yourself a few breaths here. And then if you walk your hands across the front of the mat to the center of the body, and when you reach there, come up onto your fingertips like you're playing the piano. Breathe in. Just to firm your feet a little bit more, flex toes up. And breathing out, folding down. Gain soften as much as you can into any sensation that rises up. And then you're walking your hands back up and in, so you're into sitting again. And your left hand sliding down the left leg, looking towards the inner edge of the left leg. Your right arm's lifting up. And then taking your right hand up and over towards left foot. And you'll then, a few breaths, just soften into any sensation here. And you're coming back with the hands to the center line. Lift up onto your fingertips, look forward. You can reaffirm the backs of the legs, let them relax. And then you're walking your hands forward. Just little steps forward, side to side. And into a forward fold. Keep relaxing the body, even as you're feeling things. And then your hands walking up, taking you back into sitting. So creating a diamond now with your legs. The soles of the feet are together and the heels are a little distance away from the pelvis. Your hands are reaching forward over the tops of the toes. And then you're bringing your thumbs into the balls of the feet. And there, just squeezing in the middle of the feet. You know, there's that kind of line where the foot changes colour. You know, you've got the pink part of the foot, and then just underneath the ball of the foot, it goes a bit paler. Well, right in the middle of that, you just squeeze in. You've got a nice reflex point there, which is your diaphragm point. It's a nice relaxing point. The squeezing in there, really massage into the feet. Breathe in, look forward, and breathe out, you're folding. Folding through the entire body, not just the head reaching forward. And a sense here of softening again. Keep trying to relax, letting yourself relax into sensation. Another 3 rounds of breath. And then you're slowly easing your way up and into sitting. Knees coming together now. And with your knees together, hands by the sides of the body, and stretching out each leg in turn, your legs straight. Just shuffle your sit bones down towards the floor. And just wobbling a bit from side to side, almost like wobble, iron out your spine. Just so that gives you a little bit more sense of lightness through the spine. You can almost wobble upwards. And then, with sit bones anchored, a big in-breath, arms floating up, and your arms floating down as you breathe out. Another in-breath, lifting through the base of the spine, a big circle through the arms. And with your out-breath, you're folding forwards again. Come into this one more time. Another in-breath, big circle. Keeping everything soft as the body folds into forward fold. And almost as you scan through the body here, sensation to sensation, just so that you can put a bit of space into each sensation that you're noting. and you're coming up and into sitting. So arriving now onto the spine, and we're going to hug the knees into the chest for a few rounds of breath, and just rock from side to side of the pelvis. And then planting your left foot down to the floor, the knees bent, and your right leg, hands can be behind the back of the thigh, or else you can just rest them down on the floor. Stretching up the right foot towards ceiling. Bring your hands out to the sides of the body now, and you're taking that right foot out to the right hand side. Right foot's coming back up. And you're bringing the right foot down to join the left. With both feet planted, your left leg will now stretch up, easing up left heel towards the ceiling. And then rooted down into your right foot, the left foot's coming out to the left hand side. Left foot coming up. And then you're planting the left foot down, joining the right. So hands now coming down back to the sides of the body. And with an in-breath, vertebrae to vertebrae, start to lift your pelvis up, taking you into a bridge. And as you lift up, just shift up onto the shoulders. It's almost like you're shimming your shoulders underneath you. And then you may want to interlace fingers underneath the spine and just let them rest on the floor. Now root down into your feet. Let the chin lift away from the chest. And then you'll open your hands out and vertebrae to vertebrae, you're lowering your spine back down. Hugging your knees to the chest now, fingers over the tops of the knees. And your in-breath, feet away from you. And your out-breath, you're drawing the knees into the chest. Now in-breath away from you. Out-breath towards you. Feet arriving back down on the floor, hips width apart, hands to the sides of the body. And another in-breath, you're rolling up the vertebrae, up into bridge. And when you arrive there, again, just shift each shoulder underneath you. You're interlacing your fingers the opposite way now, as you rest them on the floor. And then lifting your chin up and away from the throat. Again, just accepting, softening any sensation that rises up. And you're starting to come down again. And your knees bending. Again, draw them into the chest. And then away. And then right foot coming down, your left joining, hands coming out into a T shape, and you're dropping the knees down towards the right hand side. Now, if the knees will arrive there, that may be enough of a twist for you this morning. If you want to, you can stretch out your top leg You can either hold it up off that left, off the right knee a little bit, or else just let it relax towards that right knee. And you'll gaze down the opposite arm. Bending your right knee, if you've got it straight, and bring both knees back to the centre line. Just pausing there for a breath or so, and then knees down towards the left-hand side. And when they come to the right there, then you can stretch out, straighten out your top leg. Bending your top knee, both knees up to the centre line, over to the first side, so over to the right-hand side. And stretching out your top leg, stretching out your bottom leg. You can keep the leg lifted if you prefer. You can just bring it down to the floor and of course put a bit of bend into the knee. And your gaze down the left arm. Bending both knees back in and taking them back to the centre line. Feet coming down and knees coming over to the left-hand side. Your top leg straightening, your bottom leg straightening now. And keep softening the space of which you're feeling. Both knees bending, arriving back in the centre line. Before you come into Shavasana, you may just want to circle knees a little bit in both directions. And then when you're ready to, stretching out legs, and you're riding into Shavasana. With your eyes shut, feel your body arriving in stillness. And just scanning through the body, feeling that sense of softness. Eyes behind the socket, the front of the body, and the back of the body towards earth. Scanning through the body and feeling its weight. And feeling its lightness. The front of the body open, receiving. Feeling the eyes relaxing behind the sockets. Allowing the face to become soft, relaxed. And slowly moving the body, connecting with your surroundings. Hands, feet, and the head. And when you're ready to, you bend knees then and roll over onto the side of the body. And from there, finding your way up and into sitting. And arriving in sitting, the eyes gently shutting. And feel that light touch of the lids closing with one another. Allowing the eyes to sink back towards the back of the head. And anything that you are feeling on a physical, emotional level, just feeling a softness of awareness towards it. It's softening the space in which you're receiving that. And hands coming up to the heart into prayer. And then the gaze softly opening and bowing forwards, greeting self, other, as you move on into the day in front of you.